What do you think is the president's plan? Do you think he plans to rule until he dies, or do you think he plans to hand over power to his son or maybe his wife?
Well, I wouldn't want to say I think. I would want to say I know that President Museveni plans to rule for life.
I've interviewed President Museveni 3 times. In fact, he's been on this program sitting in the chair where you are. He seems supremely confident. Do you think he's afraid at all of losing power?
The only thing that President Museveni is scared of is losing power.
You could be the president of Uganda, but you could also be in jail. You could be in exile, or it could be worse.
Yeah, I know that every day that I live it as if it's my last day. I did not say people could rise up. I said people will rise up because...
And he knew.
That is evident everywhere. They are tired of this oppression and they will not take it any longer. I do not believe in violence, that we shall continue to fight legally and constitutionally for our freedom, and if need be, we shall die fighting for our freedom.
Bobi Wine, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of the America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. From wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might watch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Marissa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Marissa Live. Exactly. I'm yet again super glad to have you here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. From wherever you're watching me. Kenya, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe. Welcome aboard. Uganda, United States of the America, United Kingdom, I think it is the Middle East, South Africa, and all over the world. Please, thank you. I invite you, please, to join the community, the Mordecai Marissa Live community. That's the YouTube channel. We were able to hit 400,000 followers on TikTok, over 100,000 followers on Facebook, over 40,000 followers on X platform, formerly Twitter. Now, YouTube, almost 50,000. Please head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Subscription is free. Mordecai Marissa Live. Ready to go? Let's do this. Are you super ready? Welcome back from the festive days, Christmas and Boxing Day. Ready for the new year? I guess you are. And I am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to look at a conversation as we're headed for 2026 elections in Uganda. It is very important to look at the conversations or interviews that we had heading to 2021 elections. And the reason as why we do this, it is because you may argue that pretty much nothing has changed. Museveni is still there, wanting to stay in power, and Bobi Wine is still here, challenging him. So we go back and look at what it looked like. What does it say about today? And what does it say about the future? And the reason why I'm coming up with this interview is to sort of respond to a bully. Someone was mocking Bobi Wine and says, Bobi Wine is all vibes and entertainment. He doesn't have that ideological depth. And I usually laugh at these folks because they usually want to pretend like they have all this knowledge about how things must be done until you ask them, hey, how about you roll your sleeves and get yourself in the ring? They won't, but they have all this armchair analysis about what should be done and how it should be done and who is qualified and who is not. It's called elitism. And really intellectual dishonesty. You know, critics often want Bobi Wine to, tell them the neat ideological label he belongs to. Is he left-leaning? Is he right-leaning? Is he conservative? Is he liberal? Is he a socialist? Tell us, Bobi Wine, We don't know where you belong. But they usually forget that actually Uganda's crisis is not ideological. Never. It is structural. Our problem, it is moral. Of what importance is my identity as a left-leaning or right-leaning? If my brother is going to be abducted and tortured and killed, if my friend, my wife, my family is going to be tortured, disappeared, of what importance does it really help? But regardless, Bobi Wine's ideological stance has best been described by himself as people-centered constitutionalism. And his politics is deeply and deeply rooted in things he usually says. He's going to say them in this interview. Human dignity, democratic accountability, civilian supremacy over the military, to mention but a few. Now, those may not sound radical and academic in the textbooks, but in Uganda, these are revolutionary ideologies or statements because people are able to relate with them. So, without further ado, let's go on and listen to what Bobi Wine had to say in this interview, and you let me know what you think. Let's start with, I wrote here some of the things that, do I have? Okay, I have a piece of paper that shows me where. Let's start with where he talks about Museveni's plan to life presidency.
Air Force. I mean, we are only young people that are not armed. We are only using words to assert what we want. And we're not even inciting violence. All we are saying is that we want to be regarded as human beings in our own home. So,
and I'm sorry for cutting him short. That alone. Don't tell me about your left-leaning, right-leaning, socialist, conservative, or it doesn't really matter. He says, I want to be a human being in my country. I want to have a right to say, Mr. Museveni, you're not supposed to be in power. And that statement shouldn't make me a prisoner, shouldn't make me get handed down by jackbooted thugs of Museveni.
So the desire to maintain the grip on power has made President Museveni descend down to unimaginable levels.
Thank you.
The constitution has been changed twice. It used to say that you were only allowed to be president for 2 terms. He's now done 5 terms. It used to say that you're only allowed to be president if you're younger than 75. He'll be 76 next time there is an election. What do you think is the president's plan? Do you think he plans to rule until he dies, or do you think he plans to hand over power to his son or maybe his wife?
Well, I wouldn't want to say I think. I would want to say I know that President Museveni plans to rule for life, and maybe after he dies in office, probably he wants his son or his wife to take after him, which is...
Wow. I'm sorry again for cutting him short, but hey, that's a mic drop. Now, Bobi Wine is not some sort of a psychic or clairvoyant. You can simply tell by what he does and how he uses power. You're able to tell, oh, this man is actually planning to stay in power for life. These were 6 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you a video that was captured 2 days ago. This is Bobi Wine actually telling us, oh, actually Museveni plans to rule for life. Oh, maybe many people thought probably that's a little bit hyperbole and stuff like that. No. Now, this is Museveni in 2000. Let me make sure I reduce the sound here. I want you to look at Museveni. Okay. All right. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. The man cannot even dress up himself. Look at this. This was captured 2 days ago. He struggles to put on a jacket. Unbelievable. This is sickening. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I feel sorry for him. That all he knows is keeping power, keeping that firm grip on power. And that's why Bobi Wine says, I know for sure he wants to stay in power and die in power. And probably when he dies, he doesn't really care about what happens when he's left power. Power has gotten to his head, to his mind, that he doesn't know anything different. To paraphrase one of the activists that was abducted, up to now we do not know where he is. And this is none other than Samu Mugumya, a Ugandan activist. He said, dominating others has become his way of life. That's all he knows, dominating others. Let's go back to the interview. Bobi Wine explaining here.
is wrong, which is unacceptable, which we are going to fight until the end, because Uganda is not a monarch, Uganda is a democracy, and all Ugandans should be included in the governance of Uganda. But most importantly, it should be the people of Uganda to make the decision. You talked about our
people-centered, like I said.
Constitution. Yes, our constitution used to provide for that, but still our constitution, although it has been changed so many times, the constitution as it is provides for fundamental rights.
Now let's go where to he's asked whether Museveni is afraid. You know, Museveni has built some sort of a persona that makes people think that he's this untouchable, unafraid man. Yet you hear all these reports, you actually don't hear, but you see random folks, people who do not even have $20 on their bank account being arrested and sent to prison because they disturbed the peace of the president. And what did they do? They announced him dead. Oh, arrest that man because he's making fun of the president. Are you kidding me? I don't understand the fragility of the ego of these strong men. They present themselves to be this tough, but are usually angered, pissed off by minute scintilla of criticism.
Program sitting in the chair
To extrajudicially execute my driver was an American gun.
I've interviewed President Museveni 3 times. In fact, he's been on this program sitting in the chair where you are. He seems supremely confident. Do you think he's afraid at all of losing power?
The only thing that President Museveni is scared of is losing power. And that is why today in Uganda, the major preoccupation of the government is the grip on power. It explains why President Museveni moves with stashes of money, just bribing anybody. It explains why our police force is reduced to now playing politics other than keeping law and order. It explains why the military, high-ranking military officials are coming out to denounce the people or the People Power movement. The Minister of Constitutional Affairs is a soldier, and he came out and said, we shall fight people power using the military and air force. I mean, we are only young people that are not armed. We are only using words to...
Exactly. And I usually have people who say, Mordecai, you're not doing anything. You're just speaking, flapping your gums in the USA. That doesn't change a thing. I'm like, okay, I truly understand you. But can you say that to Museveni? Because if I were to fly back to Uganda, I would be captured at the airport, taken to the torture chamber, tortured, and probably lose life. Oh, I thought I'm only talking and it doesn't change a thing. You told me my talking doesn't, not even an inch, cause not even an inch of change in Uganda. And when I was having a conversation with Major General Gregory Mugisha Muntu, retired, former commander of our military, and the president of the Alliance for National Transformation, at one time I was interviewing him, and I asked him, do you think we are doing anything? And he told me, do not underestimate what you guys are doing. Speaking is so strong of a weapon that's why they're usually trying to silence those people who are speaking out. If speaking didn't have as much influence or power, it does, dictators wouldn't be afraid. And then I received a message from Dr. Chizabesi, who's in prison, and told me, hey, I love your poetry, keep going. Performing arts is another weapon we use in change or bringing change. Okay, let's go here to where he talks about the need to dismantle the security system that has been built loyal to Museveni, that they serve at the interest of at the behest of Museveni, not the country, not the constitution, but the president and his Napo baby, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. I think it is the 22nd minute. That's when he had to talk about this. So let's go here. Sorry, should have prepared better. Okay, perfect. Well, this is a longer conversation. You can watch the entire thing by heading over to my YouTube channel, Mordecai Morisa Live, where we watch Bobi Wine explain his position as we head for 2026 elections, it's very important we look at these interviews that were captured towards the 2021 election and try to make something out of this, because the situation is pretty much the same. And what do we learn? I think that's why I do all this. Head over to my YouTube channel, Mordecai Morisa Live, and watch the entire thing. See you there.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.